She's a scientific genius, a benevolent ruler, and possibly a tyrant. Princess Bubblegum is Adventure Time's most divisive character, transforming from a simple damsel in distress into something far more complex and controversial. Today, we're diving deep into why fans can't decide if she's a hero, a villain, or something in between. Stick around, because this princess has some seriously dark secrets. Adventure Time gave us an incredible cast of characters. Some we loved from day one, others we learned to appreciate through their growth. Finn started as a simple hero, but evolved into someone deeply flawed and beautifully human. But there's one character who splits the fan base right down the middle. A character who begins as someone needing rescue, but becomes a symbol of power and control. Someone whose intentions seem pure, but whose methods are questionable at best. I'm talking about Princess Bubblegum, also known as Bonnibel Bubblegum, or PB for short. Welcome back to Intune TV. Before we get started, quick favor. If you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, most of you watching aren't subscribed yet, and it really helps us keep making content like this. In the early days of Adventure Time, the show was completely different from what it became. Seasons 1 and 2 gave us a pretty straightforward setup. Ice King kidnaps Princess Bubblegum, Finn and Jake rescue her, rinse and repeat. But even then, PB wasn't just some helpless royal. In the episode Dungeon, Finn and Jake ignore her warnings and get themselves trapped. Who saves them? Princess Bubblegum herself. She's shown early on to be incredibly intelligent, a science genius who's easily one of the smartest characters in the entire show. Now, here's where things get interesting. And by interesting, I mean uncomfortable. Finn, being a young kid who keeps rescuing PB from danger, naturally develops a crush on her, and PB knows it. She's fully aware this 12-year-old boy is falling for her. In Ricardio the Heart Guy, she literally calls out his jealousy to his face. So knowing this, why does she keep acting flirtatious? Why the hugs, the kisses on the cheek, the little moments that would clearly make his feelings stronger? Sure, she eventually addresses it, but the way she does it? We'll get to that mess in a minute. Let's jump to Mortal Folly and Mortal Recoil, a turning point for the series. PB tells Finn about the Lich, gives him a sweater for his dangerous mission, and says, "I care about you, Finn," before sending him off. After Finn defeats the Lich, Ice King kidnaps PB again. But when Ice King has a change of heart and releases her, he accidentally drops her into a pool of Lich essence. Oops. What follows is genuinely disturbing. PB starts acting unhinged, eventually transforming into a grotesque Lich monster. After a battle with Ice King's help, yes, Ice King saves the day, Princess Bubblegum dies. But here's the twist. When she's revived, she's no longer 19. She's now 13 years old, the same age as Finn. Ice King immediately leaves because, credit where it's due, he's not interested in a 13-year-old. Finn and PB share this sweet moment, and the whole Candy Kingdom celebrates. Everything seems perfect, right? Wrong. Season 3 gives us Too Young, and this is where Princess Bubblegum's character really starts to show its problematic side. Since PB is now too young to rule, her creation Lemongrab takes over as the rightful heir. The episode follows 13-year-old PB and Finn pulling pranks and having fun together. They're thrown in the dungeon, and PB reveals she can turn herself back to 18, but doesn't want to because she's enjoying being a kid. Then she says something important. My people need me, and that comes first. She performs the procedure to age herself back up. The final step requires a hug. She tells Finn how much fun she had and wishes she could stay young with him. They share a brief kiss. She transforms back to 18, and then this happens.
Finn asks if she wants to hug some more. Her response? What? Finn, that was like 5 years ago. You really need to move on. Let's break down how messed up this is. This wasn't 5 years ago, it was literally seconds ago. They just kissed as 13-year-olds. But because she's physically 18 again, she acts like none of it mattered and dismisses Finn's feelings completely. This scene never sat right with me. Her attitude is cold, unsympathetic, and frankly, patronizing. Yes, she needs to focus on her kingdom. We get that. But having a proper conversation with a confused 13-year-old instead of being dismissive would have been the decent thing to do. Throughout Season 3, we see Finn struggling to move on. In Incendium, he literally spends the entire episode crying about not being able to have her. Not an exaggeration. That's the whole episode until he meets Flame Princess.
If PB had just sat down and talked to him honestly about their situation, it wouldn't have caused Finn so much pain. I'm not saying he would have gotten over her instantly, but it would have been better than the cold shoulder treatment. Let's talk about Goliad, an episode that subtly reveals something important about Princess Bubblegum's character. After nearly dying to the Lich, PB realizes she won't be around forever and needs a successor. She creates a candy sphinx named Goliad using her own DNA and asks Finn and Jake to teach it about leadership. It goes horribly wrong. Goliad develops mind control powers and believes she has the right to control others because she's more powerful. PB creates another sphinx, Stormo, to counter her. They end up in an eternal stalemate. Here's the key detail. When Finn asks why Stormo turned out good while Goliad went bad, PB reveals she used Finn's heroic DNA to create Stormo. Think about what this means. If Finn's DNA made Stormo good, then Goliad's corruption came from Princess Bubblegum's DNA. This is foreshadowing. It suggests that PB herself has tendencies toward power hunger and control, and she's constantly fighting against these impulses. The episode Burning Low reveals another uncomfortable truth about Princess Bubblegum's methods. When PB learns Finn is dating Flame Princess, she rushes to their house looking distressed. The show plays it like she's jealous, and Jake certainly thinks so. But the truth is more complicated, and honestly, more disturbing. PB explains that Flame Princess is dangerously unstable. If she gets too excited, especially romantically, she could burn through the planet's core and destroy Earth. Then PB drops this line: "Why do you think I had her father keep her locked up?" So Princess Bubblegum was involved in keeping a young girl in prison because she was dangerous. We'll learn more about this later, but it establishes PB as someone willing to imprison people for the greater good. Later in Earth and Water, we get the full story. Baby Flame Princess was abandoned in the woods by her father because she was too powerful. PB found her and convinced the Flame King he couldn't just leave her there. His solution? Lock her in a cage. Now, here's where it gets really questionable. In the present, PB spies on Flame Princess and offers to run tests to suppress her volatile traits. When her assistant ignores orders and tells FP the truth about her past, FP is understandably furious. PB's response when they disappear: "If Flame Princess is imprisoned, I won't be able to complete my tests and I'll have wasted my precious time." Not, "I'm worried about her safety." Not, "I hope she's okay." Just, "My precious time was wasted." The vault reveals something massive about Princess Bubblegum. She's ancient. She's been alive since the time of the Mushroom War over 1,000 years ago. We learn she was close with Shoko, one of Finn's past lives. Shoko tragically died falling into toxic waste while trying to steal from PB, leaving Bubblegum with lingering guilt. This reframes everything about her relationship with Finn. When she was 13 or 18, those were just physical ages. She's actually over 1,000 years old. That makes their early relationship dynamics even weirder in retrospect. But it also helps explain her behavior. She's seen civilizations rise and fall. She's experienced loss repeatedly. No wonder she's emotionally distant sometimes. She's probably tried to protect herself from that pain. Let me tell you about one of the most ethically disturbing episodes of the series. James, PB, Finn, Jake, and a candy person named James go on a mission to collect samples from the desert. PB casually mentions she wants to start colonizing this area by the end of the year. Classic imperialist vibes right there. Things go wrong when they encounter toxic slime creatures. Finn suggests escape plans, shooting a flare, using the radio. James even fixes the radio, but mysteriously it gets sabotaged. Jake starts suspecting James, calling him a traitor. Princess Bubblegum, however, doesn't want to point fingers. Finn comes up with a final plan. He'll sacrifice himself. As he's giving this noble speech, PB suddenly knocks both Finn and Jake unconscious. When Finn briefly wakes up, he sees PB talking to James, then watches James get jumped by the creatures. Later, she reveals the truth. She was the saboteur.
She calculated that none of their plans would succeed, so she told James to sacrifice himself. When Finn asked why she didn't let him do it, her response is chilling. With this sample of James, I can clone a new one. He's candy, but you're not. I can't clone another you. Then she holds a ceremony for James by immediately creating a new James clone. Is this right or wrong? We need to talk about the Cooler, one of the most important episodes for understanding Princess Bubblegum's character. The Fire Kingdom mysteriously cools down, causing inhabitants to die. Flame. Princess reluctantly calls PB for help. PB tries to be friendly, but FP makes it clear they're not friends. This is purely business. They arrive at a cave where ancient fire giants sleep. Powerful relics meant to protect the Fire Kingdom in times of crisis. Despite their importance to another kingdom, PB starts deactivating them by removing their power modules. When Flame Princess catches her, PB claims the fire giants are too dangerous to exist. A fight breaks out, where she manipulates the situation so FP accidentally destroys the giants herself. Exhausted after the battle, PB admits the truth. She was the one who cooled down the Fire Kingdom in the first place. She needed access to the Fire Kingdom's weapons, and this was the only way to do it. Flame Princess is confused. How did PB even know about these secret weapons? The answer is disturbing. She installed a camera inside Cinnamon Bun to spy on the Fire Kingdom. Then, PB drops this line. I'm PB. I spy on everybody. No big deal. Flame Princess responds with one of the most important lines in the entire series. You're cold, PB, and it's not because you're a scientist or a leader. It's because you are a bad person. So we've covered Princess Bubblegum from her early days as a damsel in distress through her transformation into a morally complicated ruler. This is only half the story, though. In part 2, we're going to dive into her ancient past, her toxic relationship with Marceline, the revelation about her family, and ultimately whether she's misunderstood or genuinely a dictator. Trust me, it gets even more intense. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe to Intune TV. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss part 2, because we're just getting started with Princess Bubblegum's controversies. What do you think so far? Is PB a villain? A hero? Something in between? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in part 2.